So South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced they are moving toward land expropriation without compensation, basically going to right a colonial wrong that happened to the African people. Now I want you to hear what he's going to say in this particular clip.
Comrades and friends, the African National Congress has just concluded a two-day NEC Lekgotla in Tshwane. The Lekgotla focused on a number of issues, including the current status of our economy, job creation and land reform. We thought it was important for the President of the ANC to clearly and unambiguously articulate the position of the organization on two matters that are of critical importance to the economy of our country and the well-being of its people. The first is the implementation of the ANC's resolution on land reform. The second is about the current economic environment. On land reform, the ANC applauds our people from all walks of life, including people in the rural areas, farm laborers, the unemployed, the landless, urban residents, farmers, traditional leaders, intellectuals, for expressing their views on this critical matter. Our people have been expressing their views on the land question openly and without any fear or favor. They have been putting forward solutions on how the land question can be resolved. This is the constitutional democracy that we fought for. The ANC reaffirms its position that the Constitution is a mandate for radical transformation both of society and the economy. A proper reading of the Constitution on the property clause enables the state to effect expropriation of land with just and equitable compensation, and also expropriation without compensation in the public interest. It has become patently clear that our people want the Constitution to be more explicit about expropriation of land without compensation, as demonstrated in the public hearings. There is also a growing body of opinion in our country that the Constitution, as it stands, does not impede expropriation of land without compensation. The ANC Lekgotla reaffirmed its position that a comprehensive land reform program that enables equitable access to land will unlock economic growth by bringing more land in South Africa to full use and enable the productive participation of millions more South Africans in the economy. Accordingly, the ANC will, through the parliamentary process, finalize a proposed amendment to the Constitution that outlines more clearly the conditions under which expropriation of land without compensation can be effected. The intention of this proposed amendment is to promote redress, advance economic development, increase agricultural production and food security. It will also transform the unjust spatial realities in urban areas. We call on all South Africans to work with us in developing a social compact for economic inclusion, economic growth, and jobs for all. I thank you.
I said it before, I'll say it again, I support that move 100%. You had people come into that land and kill, murder, had a apartheid system, and it did not benefit none of the people. It was nothing but straight oppression. It's only right that that land go right back to the people that it belongs to. Now, I had an email from a lady who is a Boer, and she told me in the previous video that we talked about with the BLF that they can't just leave South Africa like talking about, because the Dutch don't want them either. Their own people don't want them. This is what she's telling me. They can't just go over there. So they have to stay in South Africa. Well, this is the issue. If you have to stay in South Africa, then you need to go along to get along. Like black people had to go along and get along for a very, very long time. If you are a good person, you work with them, and then they will work with you. If you're a person that feel that you have to be in charge of everything and they have to be underneath your feet, that day's about to come to an end. How is it you're going to have control of the land and yet you're a minority of the population? You have over 90% of the population is black in South Africa. They're young people at that. They can get out there, they can farm, or they're already doing the work as it is. These so-called white farmers that they're talking about is not working that land. Trust me, they're not. They may own it, they may own the equipment, but they don't work the land, not at all. And then, they come and say, oh, what about Zimbabwe? The only reason Zimbabwe got that way is because the United States and European Union putting sanctions, and I showed that in a previous video, so they can sabotage Robert Mugabe at that time period. The thing is, Africa needs to work toward its own independence of everybody, the French, the Boers, everybody. And I saw in one article today that you had a major businessman in Africa starting to say, well, hey, if Trump is over here talking about America first, why don't we do Africa first? I agree with that. Do Africa first, do protectionism, put tariffs, we'll do the same thing Trump is doing. I agree with that 100%. You need to stand up for yourselves. Why is it you letting everybody come and misuse and abuse you? No, it should not be that way. The people of that land need to benefit from that land. It's just that simple. And if they don't like it, well, Vladimir Putin took so many of the Boers in, and Australia took so many of them in. They can try to go holler at them, but South Africa needs to be for the South African people, for those young people, which there are many, to work that land and to feed their family and do whatever they have to do. It's just that simple. They're not going to have their country get in turmoil because you're trying to hold on to your colonial rule. And then these people didn't buy the land, ladies and gentlemen. They have no deeds. They have nothing. This was stolen. This was land that they took from people. They murdered, and they just passed it down. No, you can't sit up here and say stolen property is yours. Stolen property is not yours. I don't care if you passed it down. It needs to go to the rightful owners. It's just that simple. And I hope South Africa do great things in the future as they move ahead with this particular plan. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this, ladies and gentlemen. South African people, if you're watching this video, take pride in yourself, stand up, get the land, do great things.